what's up, guys? Back with another stream. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody, whatever you celebrate. Late night stream. Well, I wanted to get this thing over with. I want to get this plane to LaGuardia. I've been flying the hell out of this plane today. I was going to show you what I've done so far. But Bambino here, and another episode of FSEconomy with the Carenado B1900D. 19 passenger plane on FSEconomy, real workhorse at FSEconomy. The story is I bought this plane 2 days ago somewhere west of the Rockies in British Columbia for $1.1 million off from the bank, which was a really good deal considering the going price is about 1.3 or 4, so I saved a little bit of money. But I had to fly it to reposition it to LaGuardia, which is where I want to keep it, because right now there's an absence of a B1900D there, and there's lots of jobs that you can run with a plane like this, so it seems like a perfect place for it, northeast. So we're one hop away. I want to show you what I've done here. Let's see here. So just show you what I've done here. So basically these are all the hops I've made with this plane between yesterday and today. Traveled 1,939 miles, flew for 8 hours and 44 minutes, made 26 grand, which isn't bad. So that certainly covered gas money and made a little bit more, but these are all the places that I've been. So right now we're in Rochester, and we're going to be going from Rochester to the great state of New York and LaGuardia Airport, located near Shea Stadium. Yankee Stadium's right over here. This is Shea Stadium. I think that's Yankee Stadium. Yeah, I think that's Yankee Stadium. And yeah, so we're going to be about 220 miles. So probably a little under an hour. This plane flies about 250. And we were lucky enough to pick up a job in Rochester, or a couple of jobs. So we've got $10,000 worth of passengers, 15 seats, all going to LaGuardia. Got the plane here with 195 gallons of gas. So we've got 15 people. So we're just going to call it 250. And let's calculate that out. We got what? 131 gallons, so it should be good there, but I'm going to go, just to be safe, with 300 gallons, 320 gallons. Now we got, this plane has 92 hours on it, needs an inspection in 8 hours. When I bought it at 82, but obviously I put about 10 hours on it. So, once we get it to LaGuardia, I'm going to set it up for rental, which would be pretty cool. I'm going to put a pretty high bonus on it because I want people to return it. So that's the whole idea. These are all the legs that I traveled there and the money that I made. So anyway, let's get to it. Before I do, I want to just mention VR Aviators Group on Facebook. Just search VR Aviators Group if you're interested in VR aviation with whatever flight sim, FSX, X-Plane, P3D, Aerofly FS2, whether you have a Rift or a Vive. Stop by. We've got 412 members now in about a month, which is pretty good. A lot of great people with some great knowledge that can help you out if you're just getting into VR aviation, so make sure you check that out. So that's the VR Aviators Group. Right, so let's get with our let's get going. I'm already running here. I'm not going to go cold and dark today because I've been having problems with the startup procedure. I spent some time earlier today trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, and for the life of me, I cannot get the navigation system to work. The compasses are out of whack. The digital compass isn't synced up with the analog compass. I actually get a message from X-Plane. I've gotten messages from X-Plane on it, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm following the procedures and I just can't, for the life of me, figure it out. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a bug with the plane since the recent update, but I can't get it to work. So I'm just going to go cold and dark because the GPS works fine when I do that. I'm not cold and dark. I'm going to go engines running. But what we'll do here is we'll configure up the flight plan and stuff. So Let's get inside the plane here. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing, I have to pull up this X-plane window so you can see the GPS, and there it is. Alright, so we'll go into flight plan, and let's go to menu, we'll delete. I just like, for good measure, just like to delete it. And we're going to be going to the first, it's cold, it's Gulf, oh, sorry. Golf with 2 F's. Turn that music off. Alright, golf with 2 F's. Boom, there we go. That's our waypoint, which will line us up for LaGuardia. Boom. Yes. So let's go to here. We'll make this our active leg. Set the CDI to GPS. Back to flight plan. There we go. Just make sure. Yep, we're good to go. All right, cool. So that's that. The thing we need to do is turn this off now. Well, let's go to our autopilot. So we're going to set this to nav, auto, altitude select, vertical speed, and we're going to go up at 1,000 feet per minute. So that's good to go. Now we need to set our altitude. We're gonna, I guess we'll fly at 4,000. Should be fine. And we want to get rid of this guy. We're going to set the tanks here. Torpedo heat. And flaps to the first position. And we should be good to go. For some reason we're getting really terrible. Well, probably because we're staring right at a bunch of autogen here. So once we get on the runway, we should be good. We got plenty of gas. Oh, let me load up FSEconomy. Make sure I got that in there. FSEconomy. I just want to get this plane to LaGuardia before the holiday weekend, because hopefully I'll be able to rent it out. There you go. And we are good to go. Alright, got everything set here. Everything's set. We could turn this off, the auto ignition off. We don't need that on. Let's taxi to our runway. Where is our runway? What I'm going to do is turn up this volume just a little bit here. Hold on a second. All right, if we go to, we think you get rid of that, and we hone down here. You can see exactly where we are. Where are we? We're right. Oh, why aren't we getting picked up on the, Oh, we are. So we're right. I think we're right. Where the hell are we? There we are. All right, so we're going to go to the left and pick up Charlie and go on 22. That's what we will do. And that's our flight plan. Let's get to it. I do love this plane, but I'm trying like hell to put together a competent checklist. And for some reason, I just cannot do it. Where's my? Is Charlie here? Yep. But I will figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Approaching runway 22.
Alright, get ourselves lined up here. And we're good to go. Off we go to the wild blue yonder.
Approaching runway 10.
Rotate speeds about 120. And rotate. Positive rate. Wheels up. Fly the runway heading. Flaps up. Autopilot on. Autopilot on.
Autopilot on.
There we go. Yeah, I think we're going to go to a little bit darker. Let's do that. Seem to get better frame rates when we run a little bit later at night, so we'll go to 5 o'clock. How about that? Still not good. I don't know what it is. Sometimes, sometimes a plane just runs really great at like 25 frames per second. Well, I flew like a 300-mile or 400-mile trip before. It was all 25, 26 frames per second, and now it's down to 16. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Didn't change any settings or anything like that. Just really odd. And then I'll reboot and I'll get better frame rates. So I don't know. It's a frustrating thing about X-planes sometimes, at least in VR with FlyInside. Hopefully native VR will be better. Let's hope. So outside here, I'm getting 19 frames per second, which is pretty good. But I go inside here, and I get 16 frames per second. Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. I know it's a little bit late, but I figured I'd finish this trip. I think I probably, after this is done, I'll probably have flown 1,500 miles today. A lot of, autopilot, just walking away, letting it fly for 3 hours, but kind of what you do when you're repositioning. especially in the places where I didn't have ortho set up yet. But this whole ride we have ortho, so once we get to 4,000, I'll pull back the prop a little bit and the fuel flow, although I want to get there quickly, so just want to make sure I get the altitude. Everything's running smooth, and then we'll run on the outside here. Oops. All right, we're at 4,000. There's the Santa Airways livery. See the Santa Airways logo right there, the candy canes. Won't be flying this too much longer. But in the spirit of the holidays, I figured I'd keep her flying. I tell you, this looks really cool. The tail looks really cool with the the floodlight on it. It really does. We are on our way to LaGuardia. Now the next thing I'm going to do is get back into Hawaii and start flying the SR-20 a little bit. I miss flying that plane. I haven't flown that in a while, so definitely want to do that. You know, while we're doing this, I could show you. Well, I can. Yeah, I guess I could show you. Let me pull this up here. Give you an update on the ortho project. Check it out. That's how much I've got done in the east. It's like over 300 tiles now in the east. See, I'm almost to the Mississippi. I got a lot to do. I mean, if I'm going to go up, I don't think I'm going to go up Wisconsin and stuff. I think I'm just going to go over here. You get like to the Mississippi, St. Louis, that cutoff, New Orleans. So I could have some nice long flights if I want to. Although you can't really find those flights too often in FSEconomy, but there you go. I got the Northeast. I've got California, where in the ZLA area of Pilot Edge, all done. And I'm going to do a little bit in England, and then I'm probably going to cut it off for a while. You know, it's nice. This thing is so efficient. I actually run. Like today when I was flying, I was basically building ortho in the background. So PC's strong enough to be able to handle that, which is nice. So, yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to check here. I'm pretty sure I'm over. Let me just see here. Three 334 tiles right now. 334 tiles, and if you take a look at how much space I've used, I'm just looking at this. Let's see. Properties. I've got. That's not it. About 2.6 terabytes of ortho. That's a lot, man. But it's worth it because it looks pretty cool. It looks cool for sure. So anyway, yeah. Now I can get this plane to LaGuardia, and I could start working on getting the next plane. I'd probably get another B1900D. Find another. I like to have a fleet of them, like I have 2 or 3 of them in different places, because I think they are money makers. A lot of people own them. They do come up for sale from the bank. Often you can get a decent price on them if you buy from the bank. This one, like I said, was 1.1 million. I saw one today for 950,000 that sold like within an hour of it coming. But it was like in the Philippines, I think, or something. But So you can get a pretty good deal on them, and you know, it's a moneymaker in FSEconomy. So probably get another one. Now I was thinking about maybe getting a Kodiak, because I know the Kodiak now has a G1000 in it, so it's kind of cool to fly that up like in Alaska, do some of that kind of flying, and or maybe I was thinking about getting a Caravan and flying that down in the you know, from Florida into the Bahamas and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But this first thing is to get this guy to LaGuardia, get this guy up and running, get some get some revenues generation, and hopefully with this plane, and then hopefully start to build a little bankroll up. So right now I've got two planes, this one and the SR-20. SR-20 is more for fun. Really, no one's renting it in Hawaii, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's really for me to fly out there. And then I was thinking about getting an SR-20 in the Northeast too at some point, but I think I want to build up the fleet of these planes, the 1900Ds first. So yeah, so that's my story. A lot of flying today. Like I said, probably about 1,500 miles by the time this is done. It's a lot of flying. A lot of flying. And the problem is, for some reason, with FlyInside and the new version of X-Plane 11.11.R2, or R2, not .R2, I can't use the Alt-T or Control-T to speed up time in the simulator for some reason. I'm not sure why it doesn't work. Not everybody has this problem. I seem to have this problem. I found one other person that has it, and I turn off every plugin except FlyInside, and it happens. And when I turn off FlyInside and run in 2D, I'm able to use the command. So it's got to be FlyInside, or maybe it's a combination. You know, because when FlyInside is running on its own, it causes a problem with no other plugins running. So I don't know. But it sucks because, like, today I did like a 420-mile trip from Milwaukee to Rochester, I think it was, across the lakes. And it would have been nice to have that, because that was a long trip. You know, I could have cut it down and cut it in half. You know? But, you know, just for stuff like that, when I'm not streaming and I just want to get the job done, it would be, you know, it's kind of a good thing to have. But in any event, anxious to have that working again. So if you guys are in the stream here, say hello in the chat. What are you guys doing for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? What do you celebrate? What do you got what plans you have for the weekend? Love to hear it. Got a little bit of time to kill here. 43 minutes to destination. Well, actually no. Yeah, 43 to destination. Yeah, I changed on the bottom of the ForeFlight vehicle in the upper left-hand corner. I changed what we're showing here. I wonder if you could change the colors of those. Let's see if you can do that. It'd be nice if you could change the colors. Let me see. What do they call this? I don't know what they call it. Only here, in settings, map view, weather view, airport view, route view, latent documents, traffic, hack, file brief, references. Doesn't look like you can change those colors. It would be nice if you could. But yeah, anyway, I changed them to, I wanted ETA on the total trip. That's the first one. Nautical miles to the next leg. Time to the next leg. Track, ground speed, and altitude. Those are the things I really like to know when I'm flying, just to keep track and know when I have to get back in the cockpit, get out of the get from the outside. Let's get back in here and see what we're doing frame rate wise. Still loading. Now here's 20, so that's good. So we're keeping up with sim time. You gotta stay 20 or above. Keep up with sim time. Otherwise, you'd lag behind. Well, I appreciate you guys watching, those who are watching. This lovely ortho that we have here, which, by the way, looks awesome in VR. It really does. You know, especially when you've got photo shots of where you can see shadowing, because it actually makes it kind of look like 3D, which is really cool. Highly recommended if you're in VR that you get ortho. One, because it helps the frame rates, even though this isn't a good example, but normally it does help the frame rates, especially if you lower world objects, which I think I'm running on medium. I could lower that even more. But you know, if you lower the world objects, you really get much better frame rates with ortho. I mean, at least that's what I find. So I highly recommend it if you're running VR that you do that. That's the thing, man. I think we're going to see a lot of Rifts and Vives after this weekend. I think we're going to see a lot of people joining VR Aviators group. That's good. The more people, the better. The more people in VR, the better. It'll push the flight sim designers to, you know, to improve their VR. I don't think Aerofly has anywhere really to go to improve. Theirs is pretty awesome. DCS is pretty awesome too. But I understand P3D's native VR isn't great. A lot of people prefer FlyInside. But let's hope that X-Plane and Laminar follow suit and come up with a, you know, a robust native VR offering. We should see it soon. It's out in private beta, so being tested, being looked at, being scrutinized, and hopefully Laminar will take the feedback of those chosen to check it out first and make the improvements needed. But everyone's eager to see that. That's interested in VR for sure. See something here. This has some Christmas music. Let's see. I think I do. Let's just see if I can find some Christmas music. Playing all this rock and roll all the time. Give me 1 second here. There you go. One of my favorite times of the year. whatever you celebrate, hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you don't celebrate anything, hope you have a wonderful weekend. For me, it's a time to be with the family. Be thankful for everything that you have, and things that have, for the people that you have that love you and all that. Just a great time of the year. So, happy holidays to everybody. As we make our way from snowy Rochester to LaGuardia Airport. And this is the Big Apple. Somehow an instrumental of this song, it's better when someone's singing it, right? It's hard to keep track of where you are unless somebody's singing it. That's the end, it sounds like it. Yeah, so I have to figure out the checklist for this plane. I'm not going to rest until I do. I literally spent 45 minutes today, maybe an hour today, trying to run through cold and dark starts and get the avionics to work properly. I just cannot do it. I don't know why. I've watched a couple of videos. I watched even John Fly's video. I watched a couple of videos. I followed the procedures from Carenado, and I just cannot get it to work properly. Like if you watch the video from last night, when I first turned the GPS on, it would not follow the flight plan, and it seemed like the compass on the compasses, the digital compass and the analog compasses weren't aligned or something. And actually, like I said, I got this morning when I tried it, I got a message, an X-plane message saying that the compasses weren't in sync. So I'm doing something wrong during the startup. I'm not, but I don't know. I turn on avionics like every other video I've seen of how they do it, and for some reason, for me, it's just not working. I'm hoping it's not a software thing. Hey, Cabby, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you too. Occasional low oil, fuel pressure switch. You can set a key to fix. Yeah, I haven't seen that problem at all. I've seen the fuel flow get stuck where the right fuel flow will read accurately, but the left fuel flow will be stuck in the original position, so that doesn't move. I've seen that happen. Oh, that would be awesome, man. If you could figure that out for me, that'd be great. I mean, like I said, I watched John Fly. John Fly's got a couple of videos where he cold started this plane, and I watched both of them, and I took notes. And I followed exactly the same thing that he did. And my gyro and compass were out of whack, and I could not lock on the GPS. So what I did was I turned the plane off. I restarted the flight with the plane running. Then I shut the engine. I looked at everything, and all the switches were the same. I had everything set the same way as the system would set it if you were up and running. If you brought the plane up and running. So I can't figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong. I was actually thinking of making a video of my startup procedure, put it on YouTube, and asking people for help. Because I'm starting to think that it's a software problem. I don't know. But yeah, that would be great. I mean, if you could help me, if you have any ideas, I'll try anything. Because again, I would really like to have a checklist for this plane and set it up so that, we go cold and dark all the time with it. That's really the way to do it. You need to run up the starter RPMs and a longer time. Yeah, but would that have anything to do with the gyro and the compass? I mean, yeah, I mean maybe that could be. I mean, yeah, there's very well could be that I don't let the plane warm up. I'm just not sure what. Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with the cold starting. I get the plane started. That's not a problem. I know exactly how to do that. That's not a problem. I've got that down. It's the avionics that are giving me the headache. I can start the plane fine. It runs fine. Although I will tell you that I learned that you have to have the standby pumps on, and I didn't have them on that one time when I lost fuel. So, because if you start the plane, if you let the system start the plane up, those standby pumps are on. So that's one thing I didn't have in my checklist, and I tried that, and okay, gotcha, I got you. You're starting it up. I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll try anything, man. I just want to be able to run cold and dark, or start cold and dark, I should say. What time we got on this system here? I want to come into. We got a half hour, so let's see what time is it here. Let's go to 6 o'clock. See these clouds there? That's because the satellite picture, when it was taken, there were clouds. Unfortunate, but happens. So I think I'm going to rent this thing out for $9.50 an hour. I'm just going to do dry, not wet, and I'm going to set the bonus to 2,000. So that way, I may even set it to 2,500. That way, people will have the incentive to bring the plane back to LaGuardia, because there are a lot of round trips you can do to like at least 6 airports out of LaGuardia, where you could do like a half hour out, half hour back, and make a really nice penny. And that's why this plane's really perfect for it. So that's what I'm hoping to get. A lot of short legs, but you know, maybe someone will do 2 or 3 a day, and you know, make a decent amount with it. But right now, there's no B19D at LaGuardia. I'll show you that here. Let's see. Let's go to. So if you look at LaGuardia. You got all these jobs at LaGuardia, like this one here, Bradley. Bradley's great, man. 88 miles out. You bring all these people there. You make a nice chunk, and when you get to Bradley, turn around. Don't make a liar of me. Usually there's a nice chunk here. Someone probably flew it, but you can get a nice chunk going back to LaGuardia. And then this KGA's another one. Look at these, 89 miles, right? That's in Rhode Island, and if you come back here, this usually has a nice chunk too. You can get it. There's a bunch of them that you can find and make a nice amount of money going in and out, you know, within an hour. So, and if you notice here, the only B1900D that's here is this guy, and he's got over 100 hours on him, so he can't fly anywhere. And I rented the crap out of this plane last week, flying all these legs, checking them out. You can see me there. So, yeah, so that's the idea. all these jobs, a ton of jobs. And what's funny is, like, there's no jobs in Newark. Like, there's like 10 jobs at Newark, which is right across the river. And, you know, one of the busiest airports in the country. No jobs there, which is weird. So that's my logic of putting the plane there. Nice shot right there. Had a pretty decent amount of downloads of this plane on the org. Pretty proud of this livery. Took a long time, man. Took a long time. Drove you nuts at first. Vacuum DG sync to magnetic north needs to be assigned to a key. Okay. So that's a flaw in Aki. How you doing? So that's a flaw in the startup procedure. So, okay, let me make a note of that. Just putting that on my checklist notes. Vacuum DG sync. So that's an X-plane command. Just fixes it when you get the window. Oh, I see. I see. Well, I mean, as a matter of course, if you execute that command, right? I mean, in a quick assign key. So basically, it's an X-plane assignment, right? So if I assign that to a key in X-plane, right, and I just add it to my starter procedure after I turn on the EFIS and the avionics, right? It's no harm, no foul doing that every time. Shouldn't be, right? Sync to magnetic north. That makes sense because that seems to be the problem. So I'll try that next time, and hopefully that'll straighten things out. So Aki, I got to ask you, what about the consolidation in the cryptocurrency market, man? Pretty rough day yesterday. I think actually Bitcoin in the last 3 days lost like $10,000 or something like that. I've been keeping track of that. I think Litecoin, the founder of Litecoin, let's see, it would do it during a flight. Okay, so you can do it at any time. Okay. Yeah, buyer's market. I tend to agree with you. Like I said, I'm thinking about getting into cloud mining. I'm looking at HashFlare, but for some reason I can't get money into HashFlare. I was actually wanted to buy some hash before they raised their prices, just to put a little bit of money in there to get it cranking. But see, kind of frame rates are good. 16. That's off about 21. Yeah, Genesis doesn't have. They don't have anything to buy. They have no contracts, so you can't. So BitConnect is loaning money out, though, right? So with BitConnect, you're basically lending out Bitcoin. Is that what that is? It's basically a. If I understand that correctly. You're not mining with BitConnect, right? You're lending. I have to wrap my head around BitConnect a little bit before I don't like to invest in things So I'm loaning my money out to people that want to use it to buy Bitcoin. And I'm getting a rate of 1.5% a day. That's like loan shark rates. So basically, I invest $1,000. I make $15 a day on every 1,000. BitConnect coins. All right, I see the advertisements. I see people doing it. I get really concerned about these things that every day you withdraw your interest and but you can reinvest it, I guess. Cabby, listen, before I forget, thank you very much for checking that out. I really do appreciate that. So what I'll do is I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna assign a key and add that to my process and try that tomorrow and see if that works. Yeah, but I looked at making my commuter mine and I can't make any money on that. I think you and I went over that. I can't make the money on the electricity because my electricity is like 18 cents a kilowatt hour or something like that. So I can't use my computer to make the mine. It doesn't make any sense. That's why I was looking at cloud mining, because I think you pay like 18% on whatever you make. So, you know, you're basically taking advantage of their mining, right? Yeah, I'll look at again. BitConnect. I have to make sure I appreciate that. I'll keep that in mind. But I have to wrap my head around BitConnect before I do that. I think. Okay. I'll keep that in mind, dude. Don't worry. If I decide to do it, I'll keep that in mind. I think people are making more money on the referrals than they are on actually investing. There's a couple of guys on YouTube that, like Crypto Nick, I don't know if you look at him. It'll goof up and go off course in the middle of flight, then you... Okay. But why... So let me ask you a question, Cabby. So why doesn't that happen when I let the system start the plane up? When I start the system, when I have X-Plane start the flight with the system, the plane running, I never have any issues. I don't have to worry about syncing up compasses. Why would that only happen when I do my own cold start? It doesn't make much sense to me. If you know the answer, I'm asking because I'm just curious. Your dog has gas. So does ours. We just got a puppy, actually. We rescued a puppy. Got him from a rescue place. It's actually pretty cool. The puppies, well, a bunch of puppies were flown up by an Angel pilot from a kill shelter in South Carolina. It was flown up to the Northeast here, and yes, from an Angel pilot, which is pretty cool. So he's a great dog. He's definitely got a lot of lab in him. Yeah, adopt, don't shop. He's got a lot of lab in him, and look, I think a little bit of hound in him, but he's a really nice dog, very mellow and beautiful. He's a beautiful dog. We had a dog before. We had a bred Cocker Spaniel, which she was a wonderful dog. And so it's been about a year, and we decided to get another one. But this time we wanted to adopt. But let me tell you something about adopting a dog, all right? You think that it's cheap. It isn't cheap. It costs the $450 adoption fee. Now the dog is fixed, and it's had shots and stuff like that. So, okay, that's fine. $450 for the adoption fee. But then by the time you buy a crate, and you buy this, and you buy that, and you buy this, and you buy, it was like $1,000. Now it's still cheaper than buying if we got a dog from a breeder like a Cocker Spaniel, it would have been like $2,000. Cocker Spaniel is like $2,000 if you get it from a reputable breeder, not a puppy mill. $2,000 for a dog. So I guess we save money, but don't let them tell you that adopting a dog is cheap, because it's not. It costs $1,000. But he's a great dog. He really is. Yeah, so if you get that window, I have that key set up. You never had that problem until the upgrade to 1110. You think it might be intentional? You mean like they're screwing up third-party planes? Or maybe they did something to the nav code and Carenado needs to look at it and fix the plane. So I'm not the only one that this has happened to. That makes me feel good. But no, I don't think it's an option in any real place. I don't know. I'm not a pilot, so I really can't answer that question intelligently. But I could tell you that I've never had this problem before, and I have cold and dark started this plane before 1110 and like 11.5 and never had a problem. So maybe you're right. Maybe there's something in that code that Carenado has to fix. I don't know if maybe we should report it, because now it's you and I. Now I know there's another person that's had the problem. It's pretty simple. I could just do a cold and dark. I could record a video of a cold and dark start and send the video to Carenado. And if anything, they'll tell me what I'm doing wrong. So maybe I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll do that. First, I'm going to try your suggestion and see if that'll help. But if that doesn't help, then I'm going to probably record a video of my cold and dark and with that problem happening. I think, I watch, from just trying to think back from watching the real world pilot videos that I do, I don't remember anybody ever syncing up their compasses. But I do remember them checking to make sure their digital and their analog compasses are in sync, never having a problem. So I don't know what they would do if they had the problem. So maybe there is a method to doing that. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to do a dark landing today. Are any runways lit up anywhere? Let me get the lights on here, make sure my lights are on. Let's see, get these on. I don't need the cabin floodlights on. I don't need the overheads on. Co-pilot doesn't need his lights. I want the tail flood on because I want you guys to see that. We want our landing lights on. We don't need ice. We're all good there. Good. Well, that looks good. Probably dim that down. Where's instrument? All right, cool. Do a little bit of an evening landing tonight. This is the nicest time to fly an X-plane. I remember the first time I ever flew in VR in X-Plane. This is what it was like, and it was in Seattle. I had downloaded the demo of FlyInside and X-Plane, and I took off from. Oh, Cabby, thanks for the subscription, man. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks so much. I really do appreciate that. Welcome to Bambino Games, man. That's awesome. Thanks, dude. Merry Christmas to you. How's the FPS? The FPS is shit right now. 15 in here. And outside, let's go outside. It's 17, 16, 17. I don't know why, but for some reason it is. Now check this out. Where's my thing here? Check out that floodlight in that reef. Doesn't that look cool? That looks awesome to me. Maybe it looks better in VR, I don't know, but it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I can't solve the FPS issue. Today I was flying around similar conditions and I was getting great frame rates. So, I don't know. Hard to solve it. Well, Cabby, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate it. I'm going to definitely institute your recommendation, and hopefully that'll help things. But again, if you and I are both having this problem since 11.10, I think we need to report it to Carenado. I don't think it's an X-Plane problem because I've never had it in any other plane. I mean, I've started the Cessnas, you know, cold and dark, and never had an issue with the autopilot. So, I don't know. You're saying maybe it's intentional. I don't know, maybe it is intentional. Who knows? I love the way that floodlight looks, though, man. It's pretty cool. I was watching Val Dudes. Could be these update. Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a problem with the plane, and you know, it could be a problem with the plane. Could very well be a problem with the plane. I mean, think about it. This plane, the 1.1 release came out like what, 4 or 5 months ago. So there's been what, 3 releases since then? A lot of stuff has changed in X-Plane since the last release of this plane. So, you know, who knows? I noticed that it doesn't start the same way cold and dark since the update. Okay, well that's a problem. That's a problem. How do I like FlyFlight? I'm so glad I got FlyFlight, man. It's so much better than FlightPlan Go. I mean, FlightPlan Go is great for a budget. You know, it's free and it does nice, you know, moving map and you can, that kind of thing. But what's really nice about FlightPlan Go is the way you can save your flights and you can do like Donovan showed me this. You can do checklists. Like I'm building. Here's a checklist for the Cirrus, right? Here's a checklist for the SR20. I'm going to build a checklist for this once I figure this out. So that's really nice to have. But yeah, I'm really digging FlightPlan. Definitely worth the $100. I wish I could afford the full because it can show where you are on the ground better and stuff. But that's okay. This is plenty of feature for me. There's LaGuardia. Doesn't start the same cold and dark since the update. Well, that's weird. Well, I guess we'll get to the bottom of it at some point. That's it for the Christmas music. Anyway, we're pretty close here. 9 minutes. We're 29 miles out. I can start to see LaGuardia in the distance out there, which is good. Get this plane working. Hopefully it'll make some money. I'm going to have to do a 100-hour maintenance, which is going to cost me 20 grand. So the money that I made flying out here from British Columbia, I can use for that, which is cool. We will get to the bottom of the B1900D cold and dark start issue. That's for sure. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on it tomorrow and see if I can get it to go. Like I said, I studied a couple of videos and I tried to do it exactly the way those other guys did it, and it failed on me. In fact, I had, well, I gotta blame the tank issues I had because I didn't have the standby pumps on. You gotta have those on. So that, I think, I found the issue too. But you know, you would think that you pay $35 for a plane, but the company that made the plane would, you know, stay ahead of the curve of, you know, the procedures to make sure it works properly. You know, especially if you've had like 3 or 4 releases of X-Plane since their last version, 1.1 of this plane. So who knows? Maybe they're working at it. I don't know. So, Aki, how many Antminers do you have now? I remember you saying you were going to get some more. I know you said you had them on order. I don't know if you got them yet or not. Aki's got like a pretty amazing Bitcoin, or I guess you're mining Litecoin, right? If I remember correctly. I wish I had the space for that. I would definitely do it, but I just don't have the space. And I think our electricity is, you have 21. You have 150 on order. Holy crap. Wow. You need a lot of space for that. I guess electricity is pretty cheap. I guess electricity must be pretty cheap for you if you're going to run 150 of them. You have 150 on order. Holy crap. $5K a day, man. Good for you, dude. Good for you. Good for you. Is that profit or revenue? And was that at 20,000 a coin, or is that at 14,000 a coin? Oh no, you're mining Litecoin, so it's different. The Litecoin took a beating too, I think, right? Can I send a condensed checklist? What is IMGUR? I don't know what IMGUR is, dude. Email it to me. Let me give you my email address. Just email it to me. Just email it to me. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. So this is the checklist that you use. $5K a day profit, man. That's pretty awesome, dude. Congratulations. I wish I could have that type of income coming in doing that, man. Well, I appreciate that, Cabby. I'll definitely check that out, and I'm going to go through that tomorrow. Ugh. 9,000 machines? Christ almighty. Ugh. right, let's not talk about that anymore because I'm starting to feel like should be doing something else with my time. No wonder you're not streaming anymore. You're spending all your time doing Bitcoin mining or Litecoin mining and managing that. That's what I would be doing. Keep going in and out of what do you call it?
Caution, TFR ahead.
Okay, we don't care about Trump's TFR. Yeah, I mean, if you're making 5K a day, that's pretty. A day. Dude, you're making $35,000 a week. Holy shit, man! Now, just curious, why did you choose Litecoin over Bitcoin? Was it difficulty? Oh, okay. So if I went the route of cloud mining, you think it's more profitable to mine Litecoin because the difficulty is less? Oh, I see. You'll be at 5K a day when you have the 150. I see. I think I get it. Yeah, I have to look at that.
Destination ATIS is 125.95.
All right, I want to start getting ready to go here because we're start to get ready to land this puppy. I can see LaGuardia, although I don't want it this dark. I'm sorry, I'm changing the lighting here, guys. It's a little too dark. That's better. All right, I could see LaGuardia. I guess that's JFK in the distance there. For some reason, X-Plane is really struggling right now. Really struggling. Okay, let's see. So we're good to go here. We got probably have about 14 miles left here. Start to slow down a little bit. All right, how we doing here? Probably should come down. Let's do altitude select, vertical speed. We're going to go down to, bring it down to 2800. Bring it up to 2500. feet per minute. Start to bring her down. Start to slow her down. We're going to turn a little bit here, right towards the runway, hopefully. Going over beautiful northern New Jersey. That's Teterboro, I believe, right there in front of us. If we get out of the flying side here. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. There we go. That's Teterboro right there, lit up, and Newark. Oh, come on, man. Oh. I don't know why. That's Newark right over there, to our south. JFK
Caution,
in the distance.
TFR ahead.
Sometimes it just flakes out like this. I could have flights into LaGuardia where this never happens, and then sometimes it just happens all the freaking time. It's aggravating. Ugh. Okay, let's get this plane on the ground here so we can get other people flying it. I'm going to take it off autopilot. And let's get our first notch of flaps here. Got 10 miles out. We'll start to slow the plane down a little bit. So, Cabby, if you're in FSEconomy, you got to rent my plane in LaGuardia, okay? If you feel like flying there. It's a fun place to fly. I wish I could give you a discount, but there's no way to do that in FSEconomy. All right. Hopefully we won't lose the screen here. We're coming down to 2,700 feet. Runways at sea level. We're slightly above, but not much above. You can see I have the rendering, the autogen way down, so because you don't see any of Manhattan. I actually I had the Dozraki or whatever it is, scenery for New York. I turned off the city scenery because it's just such a frame rate hog. Usually when I come in here I can get 21 frames per second, 22 frames per second without that, but for some reason tonight it's just terrible. But if I have that on, it's like in the low teens. It's really, really bad. X-Plane has to do something. They've got to go to Vulcan as soon as possible. They really do. It's just you know, it's something that has to happen. It'll relieve such pressure from them when they do that. If they can optimize the frame rates, get the frame rates up in the 50s consistently. Even the 40s. Christ, even the 30s would be good. Right now we're just chugging along here, although I am only doing 180 knots, so. Flaps full. We got our gear down. Alright, gas is in. Undercarriage is good, 3 green. Mixture we don't have, but condition is in. And prop is in, so we're good to go. On the gump. We're on final. Engine's looking good, gas looking good, everything's good. If we fail, we'll have to land in the water. Because There's no place to land around here. It's New York. Aside from runways and waterways. Got our landing lights on? Yep. Finally, from British Columbia to LaGuardia. Yeah, I'm sorry I cut out all those other flights, but it would have been a lot of streaming to do that. I wanted to get the plane here so I could move on to other things. Sorry guys, I'm not ignoring the chat. I just can't see it because I've got the headset on.
500.
All right, 500. Lined up very well, 140 knots. Runway starts right at the edge of the water. We got 3 orange, so that's not real. That means we're a little low. There you go. There's 2 orange. 2 orange, 2 white. This is what you want. For some reason they don't have the tree lit up here. Must be landing on the other runway. I don't know. But we're taking this one. Nice glide slope. Start to throttle back. We got the runway. Lights coming in. Flare it up. Throttle it down. Nice and easy. Well, that's nice. That's a pretty landing, if I do say so myself. Flaps up. Throttles back. We'll let her just ride out here. Not bad. Pretty nice landing. What do you say? I think it's a nice landing. Get off the active. And we'll just go over to one of these terminals. We'll pick one and just go. Passengers are going left and right here. Yeah, this is fine right over here. No stairs to the jetway, but we'll have to have someone bring one out. Home again, home again. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Beautiful. All right, throttle her down. Get our lights off. Get all this stuff off. Beautiful. Avionics off. And we are done. Nice. Nice. Oh, and a nice moon tonight must have. I see pretty well out there. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. How was the rates before your VR? It's not much different, and it's so inconsistent. It varies so much. It's hard to put my fingers on it. White over right, high as a kite. Red over white, all right. Red over red, you're dead. Yeah, right, exactly. How fast are you going when you are landing? I think I'm doing about 110, 115 knots, somewhere around there. I have to go back and look, but I try to keep right in the middle of the two white bars. Yes, the Sully would be the water landing for sure. Chili, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in. Chili Willy, amazing streamer. You learn a lot about flying big iron from watching Chili, for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, make sure you check him out. He's a really chill guy and fun to watch. I learn a lot about aviation watching him. And I'm a lot older than him. But he seems to know a lot. But yeah, make sure you check him out. For sure. So we finished this run here, which is great. We'll go outside and take a look, one last look at the...
Flight 209er, clear for Vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
I love that scene. I love that scene. That's why I put it as the follow video. What's your vector, Victor? We have clearance, Clarence. So one look, the last look at the Santa Airways livery that I did. I don't know, I think it looks pretty cool. Anyway, so let's check out but yeah, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. And I'm going to check out, yeah, Cabby, the 1080 Ti doesn't make much of a difference in X-Plane 11 with OpenGL. That's the problem. OpenGL is such a CPU-centric API that it just doesn't, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't give you much advantage to have a 1080 Ti. All right, so we made $8,000 there, $8,600, not bad. But now I got my plane in LaGuardia. Or not? No, sorry, we made. Wait, what? Oh, how about stopping FSEconomy? That would help. Finish flight. Okay, there you go. Whew. I was like, oh my God, did I go all that way and not turn on FSEconomy? There it is, $8,400. We're in LaGuardia. You didn't know I was a YouTuber. Sorry. Then again, it's okay, no, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for a long time. I think I'm approaching 10,000 subs on there. So yeah, I've been doing YouTube a long time. Streaming, not as much, but trying to hep that up. So here we go. We're at LaGuardia. And my plane should be there. Where is it? There it is. 328 Victor Romeo, which stands for VR, right? Right now it's unrentable, but we're going to change that. So let me go to aircraft. And we're going to edit this aircraft. And we're going to do I'm going to put a distance bonus of $2,200. That way it'll give people incentive to bring it back, and I'm going to rent it for $900 an hour. And there you go. So if we look at LaGuardia, look at all these jobs at LaGuardia. Oh my God. They make a lot of money at LaGuardia. So come to LaGuardia and rent November 328 VR, Victor Romeo. There it is, $900 an hour. And hopefully this will deter people from flying into Ohio and leaving it there. Cool. Psyched about that. So that's going to about do it. So I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. And Chili Willies, thanks for checking out the stream. What's my YouTube link? I'll give you that in a second. Actually, if you type in, I have a chat command for that. If you type in this, it didn't work. I guess my Nightbot's not working. Oh well. Here's my channel. Hold on, let me get that for you.
Since the 1980s, PC flight simulation has seen continuous tech.
I actually have a really good video. Like if you're, I know that Aki, I know that you're already into VR, but if you're not into it, there's the YouTube channel. If you're not into VR yet and you want to learn, I've got a nice primer on VR, X-Plane VR, or actually VR flight simulation in general. So it's kind of cool to check out. So that's just going to about do it for me, guys. I appreciate the follows and I appreciate the subscriptions. I'm not sure if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I might be. We'll see. I want to get back into Hawaii and flying the SR-20. I just got a note from someone on Discord saying that they're having problems with the SR-20, the V-Flight Air SR-20. But I've got that sitting in Hawaii in FSEconomy, and I want to do some flying with that. I miss flying that plane. So we'll probably get back to that next. So anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you guys checking it out, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow. If I don't, have a Merry Christmas and enjoy your holiday. Take care, guys. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.